Aprille Walker from the Yoga Ranger Studio, and today's Instant Zen practice, we're going to be using a couple of these acupressure balls. But don't worry, if you don't have them, you can always make use of a tennis ball. You'll need 2 of those. And what we're going to do is we're just going to do a little bit of work on the glutes. So this entire back section is tender, and often when if you've had a massage, you will know that that is an area that is very, very tender and sore to the touch. Just because this is such an area filled with so much connective tissue, so much work, and it works so hard every day, and given our lifestyles, sitting a lot in chairs, it tends to get a little tender. So we're going to come to lie down to start with, taking our 2 tennis balls or tune-up balls. We're going to take them underneath the hips, right on either side of the sacrum. So the sacrum is that bone at the very bottom of your spine. It's the bottom fused of the spine. It's like a little kind of diagonal. You'll feel it when you're on top of it. You kind of roll to the outside edges of it. This is your SI or sacroiliac joint on either side. If this is super tender, you can roll the balls out just a little bit further out toward the outside edges. But if you're okay here, take a couple of breaths. And then if you can, start to rock those knees a little bit side to side. So I'm sure you have heard, if you've been to a gym or had a trainer, that rolling out is really important before you work out or after you work out, or if you're involved in activities outside of a gym. But if you are having some discomfort in your body, rolling out can help relieve that instantly. It can also help prevent it. So it is important to take a look at some rolling out techniques. So if you can, go ahead and bring the bottoms of those feet together. Take those knees a little bit wider. This is going to put a little bit more pressure on that area. So we're just going to think of the glutes in a few stations. So normally when you're rolling out with tennis balls, you're going to want to count to maybe 30 or 60 just to get a really good place. If you find a place that is more sore or it feels really good to kind of keep there and you can feel it releasing, you can stay longer, always longer if you want to. But go ahead and bring those knees back to center, feet flat. You're going to take those tune-up balls or tennis balls and roll them down about a half roll. Settle yourself on them. This might not hurt as much. So if you have some sharp shooting pains in these areas with rolling out, you should always move the tune-up ball or the tennis ball up or down or outside of that area. And that'll help kind of work the tissue around it, and you might be able to come back to that spot and work it all the way out. Once again, bring those feet together, knees out to the side. You can go in here and just rock those knees a little bit side to side. So unlike right on the SI joint on either side, this has a little bit more space to go. So this rocking motion is okay with the knees wide. I always recommend to people that if you have some time during the week, you should make some time during the week for a 20 or 30 minute tune-up ball or tennis ball rollout for your entire body. And I can tell you from experience that it has a huge effect on headaches, muscle pain, back pain, foot pain. Just taking a tennis ball and letting it work kind of through your body. Bring those knees back to center. You're going to roll those balls down another half roll. You're at the very bottom. Your hips or your bum might be on the floor a little bit. That's okay. And here we're just going to let that weight stay right there without moving the knees out to the side. Now, even if this doesn't feel painful or sore in this area, you're looking at prevention of that. So not only are you rolling out areas that are, but you're also rolling out areas that could be. Things change week to week, right? Go ahead and lift your hips. You're going to take those tune-up balls or tennis balls back up to the start, back to where you were at the very beginning, and you're going to roll them out by half a roll. Now, if you were already here, go ahead and come back to this location. So this is right in that area where the piriformis is. So it's a little tiny muscle that goes kind of crossways across the bum versus up and down. For a lot of people, it's a very sore spot. A lot of people have something called piriformis syndrome. It's very painful to the touch. So what I'm going to have you do here, if you're starting to feel a little discomfort, is I want you to kind of just roll your hips in like a hula hoop circle, one way or the other. So you're kind of just making little tiny circles on each one of those little spots. And then go ahead and change direction. Now you're probably wondering why I don't suggest using a foam roller. I have used a foam roller in the past. I find they're relatively effective. But my concern with it is that my body's not flat and has lots of areas where that foam roller, especially in this position, would just roll out the top layer. And what I want is to get really deep in there. So once again, take the bottoms of those feet together. Take the knees out to the side. You may really feel this, or you may just feel some slight tension there. Go ahead and rock those knees a little bit side to side. Now, if you find once you kind of start with these basic rolling out on the glutes and you want to sort of explore, go ahead and do whatever really feels good for you to kind of roll out these areas. I find that people, once they start playing with a tennis ball to roll out, infinite possibilities arise, right? Bring the knees back to center, feet flat. Lift your hips, roll those balls down a little bit lower. Once again, your bum might be on the floor. You're going to go ahead and take those knees out to the side, feet together, hang out here. And if you feel a spot that's super tender, hang out in that spot a little bit longer. If you do, you might find there's just this great release. If you don't feel a release immediately after 30 or 60 seconds, don't worry. You will feel better later, and over the next day or so, it's just amazing how less tense you are, how much relief you can get from this. Bring those knees back to center. Go ahead and walk those feet a little further out, drop the knees together. So just changing the knee direction really gets into completely different areas in your glutes. So feel free to play with this a little bit. Walk your feet back together, lift your hips, come back to the very first position on either side of the SI joint. You might have to kind of wiggle around to find that. Take those feet super wide, knees together. You're just going to rock a little bit side to side. And then walk the feet back to center and just kind of roll around in bigger circles. And I know this is going to seem weird, it's going to feel weird, it's going to look weird, but ultimately it's going to feel really good. Change the direction a few times. And those balls are going to tend to roll out to the sides, which is okay because you're wanting to get this entire area. Once your bum has already come down to the floor, is really close, you can take those balls out. Go ahead and come all the way up. This is your glute rollout. Just a really quick and easy way to take some of that tension. Even if you are not feeling pain or tension in your glutes, if you have lower back issues or your hamstrings are really tight, it might be your glutes being rolled out will help some of that go away. So I hope this helped. Once again, join me for another Instant Zen. Take a look at the other Instant Zen classes I have for different parts of the body using different ways to kind of get in there. Look forward to a few more of these because I would like to really use these acupressure balls a little bit more often with people. If you liked this video, please like and comment below, and please remember to subscribe. I truly appreciate it, and I hope to see you on the mat again soon. Thank you.